Welcome back to KTSM 9 News today. So the UTEP professor who's playing a major role in NASA's Artemis science teams is back in El Paso. That's following the first crewed mission of NASA's Artemis program, successfully completing that historic 10-day flight around the moon.
All right. I didn't have the story pulled up.
Oh, that's okay.
No, I got it.
Okay, got it.
The mission was the first time humans traveled deep. There's nothing like honesty, right? The first time that humans traveled deep into space since 1972 during Apollo, setting a new record for the farthest humans have ever traveled, in fact, from Earth. Back here in El Paso, Dr. Jose Hurtado, who's a UTEP professor in the Department of Earth, Environmental, and Resource Sciences, has been tasked with mapping the south pole of the moon. Easy, right? It's
I know,
not
right?
too bad. Which is where NASA plans to land 2 astronauts in 2028. Now, Dr. Hurtado joined Andy Morgan live last night at 6:30. Told Andy a lot of this work is coming now after the capsule splashed down in the Pacific last month.
My teammates and I, we're still riding high on the moon joy that we experienced during the mission. NASA just has released about 12,000 images to a publicly available website that all of us can look at. We've been poring over that data over the last few weeks, and we'll continue to do that over the next few months as we put together our preliminary science report and the initial data release. Some of the things that really surprised us were the impact flashes that the crew reported. So these are little flashes of light that they saw that were probably meteoroid impacts on the surface of the moon. I was really struck by how amazing the eclipse view of the moon looked like. And that's an incredible view that the astronauts were really in awe of. And it's going to be important science as well, because it gave us a unique view of the moon that no one's had before.
Well, Dr. Hurtado was the lead voice inside the science evaluation room at the NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston for Artemis 2. As for Artemis 3, that's expected to launch next year, while Artemis 4, that's the planned mission to get astronauts back to the moon for the first time since 1972. That one's expected to launch in 2028, and Dr. Hurtado, he'll be there for both of those.
That is
as
so
well.
Cool. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm digging this whole moon joy thing. I love it. I love it. And I love their like, they're all like, hi, hi kids.
They all can't wait to talk about it, which I guess if I was part of a mission that went around the moon, I would also be like, I cannot wait to tell everybody about this. That was one of the, we talked about me reading that book about Apollo. That was one of those things I guess I hadn't thought about before, but like when they go to the moon and they collect all these rocks, these astronauts have to come back and be like, here you go. Here's what we brought back. Figure it out, I guess. You know, whatever you want to do with this, have fun.
They're like, good luck. I'm off to get me a chili cheese dog.
You know, and back in those days, you know, back in the late 60s and the early 70s, we didn't have the computing power that we had today. So back in those days, it was all basically done by hand, like in pictures. And they had to like literally draw on pictures where they picked up these rocks. Like this rock in this picture is this actual rock here. And they had to like map all that.
That is amazing.
Easier with computers, but not by much, I would imagine. A lot of data. Of course, we're big space fans here, so we'll be following this next year as well. All right, more to come in the next hour. Well, speaking of books.